Austin just dethroned Nashville as the #1 city in America for remote workers, putting it ahead of Seattle, Denver, San Francisco, and every other major city in the country. If you're working from home and you can live anywhere, this is about to save you a fortune while actually improving your quality of life. I'm Sean Tips. I've helped hundreds of families relocate to Austin, and many of them are remote workers who did the math and realized they were losing by staying where they were. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why Austin ranks first nationally, the neighborhoods where remote workers are actually choosing to live, and what it costs to make this move. It's not just about cost of living or internet speed. Austin's created the entire ecosystem specifically designed for people who work from home, and 28% of our workforce is already remote, with that number climbing every single year. Let's start with the numbers that actually matter. Capital Economics analyzed 52 major apartment markets across America, and Austin came out on top for remote workers. We knocked Nashville off the top spot, and San Antonio took third place. The analysis looked at job market strength, cost of living, quality of life, and climate. Austin scored highest across all four categories combined, which tells you this isn't a one-trick pony situation. Here's the part that surprises most people. Over 30% of Austin's workforce works from home. That's 181,000 people logged in remotely every day. Compare that to a national average of about 14%, and you start to see why the city feels different. When you walk into a coffee shop in Mueller or a co-working space downtown, you're surrounded by people who understand exactly what you're doing because they're doing it too. Let's talk about money, because this is where Austin really starts to separate itself. Texas has no state income tax, none if you're making $100,000 a year working remote from a California company. That's an automatic $5,000 to $10,000 raise just for moving here. That's real money that stays in your pocket every single year. And unlike some states that try to claw back taxes if you're working for an out-of-state employer, Texas doesn't do that. The median rent in Austin right now is about $1,467 a month. That's down almost 5% from last year because we've added so much inventory. For comparison, if you're renting in San Francisco, you're probably paying $3,000 plus for a one bedroom. Seattle, you're looking at $2,500 minimum. So you're saving on taxes and you're saving on housing. Internet infrastructure is non-negotiable for remote workers, and Austin ranks #1 in the entire country for fixed broadband speeds. Our median download speed is over 344 megabytes per second through Google Fiber. The national average is way lower, and if you've ever been on a Zoom call that freezes right when you're presenting, you know exactly why this matters. 96% of households here have internet access, and most of the neighborhoods remote workers are choosing have fiber running directly into the buildings. Co-working spaces are everywhere. Capital Factory and WeWork locations are downtown, as well as CreateScape and Journey Co-working. Most of these spaces run between $250 and $400 a month for a dedicated desk. And because Austin's tech scene is so strong, these aren't just desks with Wi-Fi. You're walking into networking events, workshops, mentorship opportunities. It's a built-in professional community that a lot of remote workers didn't even know they were missing. Quality of life matters because you can't just work all the time. Austin ranks 13th nationally for quality of life, according to U.S. News and World Report. We've got almost 20,000 acres of green space, Zilker Park, Lady Bird Lake, Barton Springs Pool, the Greenbelt. You can finish work at 5 and be on the trails or in the water by 5:15. The weather supports that year-round. Over 200 live music venues, South by Southwest every March, Austin City Limits Music Festival. Your city becomes your office, your gym, your social life. Austin gives you options for all of it without paying New York or San Francisco prices. The job market in Austin is still incredibly strong. Major companies like Apple, Tesla, Oracle, Google, Dell, they're all here. And a lot of them are hiring remote positions or hybrid roles. So even if you move here working remotely for a company based somewhere else, you've got options if you ever want to switch jobs. Let's talk about the neighborhoods where remote workers are actually choosing to live. Mueller is one of the most popular. It's a planned community in East Austin with fiber internet throughout, walkable to coffee shops, a lake, park, and trails. Median home prices are around $700,000, or you could rent for about $2,000 a month. South Congress and East Austin are huge with younger remote workers and creatives. You've got walkability, tons of coffee shops with good Wi-Fi, live music venues, restaurants. Rent in East Austin starts at about $1,850 for a one bedroom, and you're in the middle of everything. The Domain area in North Austin is another hotspot, especially for remote workers who want newer construction. You've got shopping, dining, co-working spaces like WeWork right there. It's pricier, but still way cheaper than comparable neighborhoods in other major cities. And if you want more space for less money, Round Rock and Pflugerville are just north of Austin with great internet, solid school districts, and rent starting around $1,400 a month. You're 20 to 30 minutes from downtown, but you get a lot more square footage for that dedicated home office. Here's what I tell every remote worker I talk to. You need 3 things to make remote work actually work long term. You need a reliable infrastructure, that's your internet and your workspace. You need cost of living that doesn't eat up your entire salary, and you need quality of life that makes you want to stay. Austin checks all 3 of those boxes better than any other major city in America right now. That's not an opinion, that's what the data is showing us. Austin had the largest net increase of remote workers moving here, and that momentum hasn't slowed down. If you're thinking about where to live and you have the flexibility to choose, this is the city that's designed for exactly what you're trying to do. If you're seriously considering Austin, I put together a free relocation guide that breaks down neighborhoods, cost of living, internet providers, co-working spaces, all the stuff you actually need to know before making the move. The link is in the description box below. And if you're ready to start looking at homes or just want to talk through what it actually looks like to relocate here as a remote worker, my team and I do this every single day. We'll walk you through the whole process and make sure you're landing in the right neighborhoods for your situation. Let's make it happen.